I'm learning a lot about Sikhi and I'm learning Punjabi and sometimes like, you know, I feel very sort of accepted. And then other times, like for example, I sat down to have my langar and this woman sat next to me and she goes, "I'm really glad you sat here because I just want to ask, why are you here?" I felt like I'd landed on a different planet, and at the time I was really mentally not in a great place, but when I went to India it felt like all of that sort of lifted.
Now, is that important to know the language?
I think it's really important, but I also want to preface that I don't think that doesn't mean you have to be fluent. It just means you got to make an effort.
I have been accused of like, well, she's only making this content, she knows she's going to get views and that kind of thing.
This is Lyca Extra, the sound for the British Asian generation, a part of the Lyca Radio Network.
Hi, this is Doni Brasco, and welcome to our podcast series. So we launched the Lyca Extra podcast series, and I've got two lovely guests with me today as well. We're here to talk about British Asian stories, one conversation at a time. We're celebrating culture today. So I've got London Ki Lali, and I've got Samir with me as well. Samir Mahat.
That's right, yeah.
Right, I've said it right?
Yeah, you have.
What's your background, man?
I'm Nepalese. So I was born there, and I came here when I was about 5, 6, and then grew up in Southeast London. So.
Oh, Southeast London. And London Ki Lali?
Well, I'm white British, as you can probably tell, but yeah, my background's English as far as it goes.
So
as
you're
far as I'm aware.
Born in the UK?
Yeah, born in the UK.
And I've seen your YouTube videos. I've got to say, I thought you were Indian at first. I was like, she's so mercenary. I thought you were fully Indian.
Nah.
No, but welcome. Thanks a lot for being here on the podcast as well. Just to let you know, London Ki Lali runs a YouTube channel as well, content creator. Amazing. I've seen her sing in Hindi, Punjabi. She's done songs. And I think recently I discovered you started going viral quite massively around with a video you've done around Wembley, I think, when you went around the food trail.
That was with Carl Rock. So he's a very big content creator. I think he's got about 3 million subscribers. And we've been good friends for a while because we have a common thread where we're both white. He's from New Zealand, and we just absolutely love South Asian culture.
Well, so. This is what we're going to talk about as well. I want to know definitely how you got into it as well. And yourself, you are an actor and a director.
Well, yeah, no, I act, but I love theatre directing as well, mainly directing theatre. I did my first sort of play that I directed recently called Baijan, which was about 2 young brown boys and their battle with toxic masculinity and everything, which was really fun. It was really relevant to sort of my experience, to a lot of what I saw, a lot of what I felt. So it was just cool being able to put that on stage and sort of getting that message out there, really.
Oh, brilliant. I think the first thing is like, we're here to talk about kind of culture, what it means to us, what identity is and everything as well. And I think we've got quite a varied panel that goes on. I'm not going to ask anyone directly, but I think we should just go straight up. First thing, right? Does anyone have any idea how you can explain what identity is? Like, what is our identity?
That's deep, Donnie.
Yeah, I went in.
That's a tough question.
Like, someone asked me, I had this dream. I was like, man, I'm going to go up into London and I'm just going to hold a sign that says, "What are you?" That's all I was going to say is, what are you? And for example, if I held up a sign and asked you, what are you? What would you say?
Oof.
I think my answer to that, you know what, genuinely, I would say Nepalese. Because for me, to answer your earlier question, like what your identity is, to me, it's where you feel like you belong. And I think the problem comes with identity crisis and everything when you don't have a place where you feel like you belong. Because you might be being thrown back and forth from here, there, wherever it may be. But if you have somewhere where you genuinely feel like you belong and people want you there as well, that's when you become a lot more confident and comfortable in your identity. For me, that's what it means.
So does that mean you don't feel you belong here in Britain?
I wouldn't say that. I would say there's a strong attachment I have to back home. Because there's just so much of my family back there. I'm like very close to my family. So much of my family is still back there. A lot of them don't even speak English. So I have a strong connection to the culture. That being said, I grew up here. I grew up in Southeast London boy to this day. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that's undeniable as well. I think when I say Nepalese, let me also add that it's a new type of Nepalese. It's not the type you'll find back home. It's this very unique sort of diaspora identity where we have, it's not just Nepalese, any sort of South Asian culture or any sort of immigrant culture really, where they've come here and they've developed this sort of new identity where we live in this place as a sort of not even, I wouldn't even say half and half, as just a sort of new sort of person. Do you know what I mean?
Right. So because there's Nepalese people that are here in the UK
Yeah,
are
yeah,
different.
yeah.
So it's like the Brit Indian, Brit
Yeah,
Pakistani.
yeah. I call it Nepalese just for the sake of the word, but what I really mean is sort of like, I guess Nepalese British, but yeah, I think it's a new identity. Is my idea.
So, but your base fundament is you feel your identity is where you belong.
Yeah, where you feel you belong.
What's your take on that?
Well, I identify with being a white woman who's British, but with a very huge thirst for knowledge on South Asian culture. So I don't know. I don't think one box fits all. Just because I say I'm white doesn't mean I'm just going to be into white things necessarily. And that's the same with all people who are white. I mean, I think in this country, a lot of white people absolutely love, for example, like a katsu curry or whatever. Like that's
I
become
love
like,
them.
Yeah.
you know, or whatever. So I feel like, you know, it's not like just because you are look a certain way or your ethnicity is a certain way means that you're going to be into certain things. I think culture is constantly evolving, and you know there's a lot of crossover.
It's mad because again, when I went into that, like you chose to say Nepalese,
Yeah.
so that was regional. Like one of the answers, because I thought to myself, what I would say if someone held that up to me, and the only thing I can turn around and say is I'm human. Right, that's the only thing I would say.
Damn, that's what I should have said.
and I think you just have.
Okay.
I think you just have.
Okay.
So like, and that brings me to a thought. In a world, right, being South Asian, I see on social media, and I might direct this a bit more to you. I see social media, like Asians seem to be consuming everything, right? You can do, sometimes, and I hate it, sometimes I hate our own community because we celebrate mediocrity as well. Like someone might do something that's not that great, but they'll celebrate it like it was the best achievement in the world, right? I don't want to give any examples for that as well. Like, for example, I don't know, like Diljit Dosanjh at the moment, right? He's actively going around the world and touring, which I think is phenomenal. And that is not phenomenal just for brown eyes. It's phenomenal for any artist in the world to do a tour that was so big like that. So I find it kind of hard how to kind of represent that. And I just wanted to ask you, because I'm sitting here and while you're talking, as much as you might turn around and say, I feel like I belong in the Asian culture, I don't think anyone would ever say you're Asian. And I don't mean that in a rude way, but am I wrong in that? Because would they say that?
I don't feel like I
Or Indian or Pakistani?
necessarily belong there. I don't know. Do I feel like I belong? Sometimes I don't, and sometimes I do. It's a bit of a weird thing.
Same.
So, for example, every Sunday I've been going to my local Gurdwara where I'm learning Punjabi. I go there, I have my langar every Sunday, I pray just like everyone else, and I go there and, you know, I'm learning a lot about Sikhi and I'm learning Punjabi. And sometimes, like, you know, I feel very sort of accepted. And then other times, like, for example, I sat down to have my langar and this woman sat next to me and she goes, I'm really glad you sat here because I just want to ask, why are you here? And I was like, I just suddenly felt really embarrassed, like, oh gosh, like maybe I shouldn't be here sort of thing. It kind of felt like a bit, I know it was just her being interested and just curious, but I felt like saying to her, you know, if you were to walk into a church, I would never go up to you and be like, why are you here sort of thing. And it's sort of like, I'm here for the same reason that you're here, but you know, I wouldn't go up to you and ask you why you're here sort of thing. But and you do get stared at a lot. And I've been going every Sunday since September and you still get stared a lot. And I think it is just general curiosity, but it does make you feel like I wish I could like disguise myself somehow, so I feel like I could be more accepted sort of thing.
I'm sorry.
I just want to say that's really interesting and I can completely understand perspective, but I would just say sometimes it's kind of important to remember the history of things and places, and I think that might sometimes help to sort of pinpoint where that curiosity comes from as well, because there is a history of those communities being and looking a very particular way. And I suppose even with certain churches, it would be, you know, a sort of certain group that goes there, and then any sort of outsider. I'm just trying to place where that curiosity might come from, because I think it's important as important as it is to also accept new people, new groups, new faces. there's also a history that these places, were built upon. That's also really important to keep remaining and sort of keep out there.
Yeah, no, true.
Yeah.
I also think sometimes, again, and you can probably answer this, either one of you. Sometimes I think the South Asian community is sometimes a bit too direct, and sometimes there's a language thing that comes across a little bit. Like, for example, there's always conversation where people might say something, I'll be like, I don't know the way that was said or whatever, or the tone or what the intent was as well. But it's nice that you're still going. I hope it wasn't trying to scare you away. I don't think she was.
Nothing. I wasn't offended at all, but it made me sort of think afterwards, sort of
How
thing.
did you answer it?
I just said, I'm learning Punjabi and I love the food and I just get a lot of peace from going into prayer and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just said I also really enjoy the music. So yeah, it was just, I think it just set me back a little bit at the time.
Yeah, no, that's good. Did she have a response to it, or
she was just like, oh, that's amazing, and
Okay.
and you're always, what's really nice is people always praise you even just for having the smallest amount of interest, and sometimes I feel like I don't really deserve that, but it is nice that it's appreciated.
Yeah.
And but it does, going into these places does, you do need a level of bravery, because you are going to feel out of place at the end of the day. So yeah, I think the first time I went, I was so nervous. I struggled to eat. I was genuinely so scared.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, I was just really nervous about doing the wrong thing, or doing something silly, saying something silly, or doing something that would embarrass myself.
Yeah, of course.
Or whatever. So yeah, you need to have an element, when you've got such a huge interest in the culture, you do have to have an element of being quite brave to put yourself out there, to put yourself in these situations.
No, it's very true. I mean, I don't know about you, but have you had situations when you went back to Nepal and you felt proper more British than the locals? Like, you've done something, your outfits they're laughing at.
Bro, yes, man. You know what it is? I'm really lucky, what you said about communication. So I can speak the language, I would say fluently.
Right.
Not everyone would, but I would say fluently. So to an extent I can, but sometimes I can't do complicated stuff. So when I'm bargaining, I got to call my uncle in. I got to call one of my cousins in.
Right.
And one time, oh man, I needed to buy a wallet. And everyone was busy. All the aunties were busy. I was like, I'm a grown man. I can go buy this wallet, man.
Oh, no, you got
I went
something.
upstairs, bought the wallet. I was like, uncle. Obviously in Nepalese, I was like, uncle. I came in confident, chest up. I was like, which wallets you got? Instantly, I saw his face light up because he heard the accent. He heard the accent. He knew I was British. I backed out the most expensive wallets, and I got scammed. What was your question? Sorry.
No, just about, are you treated different when you go back home?
Yeah,
because the
yeah,
truth
yeah.
is, I think I am as well.
Yeah,
But
man.
by the way, when I heard that, all I could think of was, that is so cool that you're fluent in Nepalese. And then I was
thank
like, I
you.
really want you to teach me some
Yeah.
Nepalese.
Oh,
That's
for
how
sure,
I
We
man.
should
felt.
get something
yeah,
out
yeah.
there.
Oh,
That's
for
how
sure.
I felt. I was just like,
Yeah.
because for me, I learned Hindi for 5 years, and then I recently started learning Punjabi, and I'd love to learn Nepalese as well. I think that's so cool.
Oh, for sure, man.
Honestly, that's awesome that you know it. fluently.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I grew up there, and then I spoke it at home, so it was
Nice.
luckily. I used to be able to speak Hindi as well, but I lost that. But no, to answer your question, basically, I do get treated a bit differently, but I think it's more person dependent than anything else. Because what I've noticed is there are other places where it's very clear I'm a foreigner as well, and they won't try to take advantage of you. It really is person dependent. Obviously at home with my actual family and stuff in the village where I'm from, I don't feel like I'm being treated differently at all. Do you know what I mean? I feel very much at home. But that's because, I'm literally related to everyone, I think, as well. But it is person to person dependent, in my opinion.
That's awesome, man. I completely love how diverse it is. But we need to hear some Nepali at least. Anyway.
Oh, 100. What?
Teach us something.
Yeah.
Teach
How
us
do you
something.
say?
Right now?
How do you say how are
Yeah,
you in
man.
Nepalese?
Oh, man.
So what was you saying?
Nepalese, yeah. Nepalese,
Nepalese. Yeah, is
what do you wanna
Nepalese
learn?
wrong? Is that not what
No,
you'd say?
oh, man. So I don't even know either because I'll be looking it up. Is it Nepalese or
I thought it was
Nepali?
Nepali. Is it, or both of them
It
accepted?
can
It
be
is
either. I
I've
think
heard
one's for the
Nepali
people and
in
one's for the
India.
language.
Okay.
But I've forgotten which one's which right now, so it's not.
Yeah, but India come out all sorts of words, man. I sit there and they turn around and they say to me go back to your Gora land.
Gora
Stuff
land.
like that, bro.
Nah.
No,
They
but
be saying that to you.
I need to. Yeah, they say that to me. Go back to the Gora and hello to Gora hoka. Yeah, they
Hey.
say stuff which means I don't know if you know what it means. He goes, you're like a white person. I'm sitting there in India and they're saying this to me. Have anyone ever said something like that to you, or does that word offend you, or how do you take it? Because I know there's rude people out there, man.
What, being called Gora?
Yeah, being called Gora. and
Gori.
stuff. Gora, Gori.
I don't like it when people shout on the street, Gori mum,
Right.
Gori mum, it's just like.
Does that happen here or more in India?
No, it doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen
What
here.
did they do?
I don't get offended by being. I don't know. It's a difficult one. Is it offensive or not? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's an
I don't
interesting
know.
one. I was sitting there thinking, like, how do people do it? Because they say it to me, but I suppose
In what
comes to-
context? I'm really curious. Where did they say go back
it's
to your...
just like, you know, so when I was younger, right, I was a bloody pain, mate. I used to go back in India, right? I don't know if you've been to India a few times. You've been to India?
No,
I
I haven't.
So
been.
I don't know if you realize it's pretty similar. So the showers, they are wet rooms.
Yeah.
Right. And you got like a hole in the ground where your toilet is.
Yeah, obviously.
And then a few meters away, you got a shower. And I just found it disgusting as a younger child how you want me to walk barefoot or I'm in the shower, showering. And I just couldn't understand it because at home we have like baths and we have separate shower pans. So I used to go back and I'd sport little child, man. I was like, oh, it's dirty, it's dirty. And I just remember everyone in my family, even my cousins, sorry to my cousins if they ever watch this video, but they'll be like, oh, look at this little gorda and stuff like that. And they used to say stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And the food, I couldn't, like, even now, I can't have a lot of spicy, but you know, people kind of, and I think sometimes the intent feels derogatory, but I don't know, it's ribbing. It's a weird kind of sense of humor.
That's
really
really interesting. That's interesting.
Do you guys get anything
I
like
can't
that?
say I do, if I'm honest. I mean, maybe they're saying it fully behind my back really well. That I'm just not hearing it. But I think I've always had the sort of grace of like, oh, because he's foreign, he might not be used to this. But that might just be, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's mad. I don't know, man. Maybe times have changed though.
Yeah,
I'm
for
older.
sure.
You're like half my age, man.
Oh, okay.
Half my age. Not really. I'm only 3 years older than you.
No, they got toilets now.
Why are you not laughing?
They got toilets. Oh, yeah.
I said, I wanted it back over that.
Yeah. I just went
bro,
like last...
Toilet roll was a big thing for you when I went to India, like when I was younger, I was to go
Bro.
back as well. When's the last time you went to back home?
Back home? I was
in London.
From Bedford this morning. I was there. Last time I went to India wasn't that long ago. It was like October, November last year.
What made you choose India for like the knowledge? Like straight out.
Okay, so it all started when I'm 36 now. When I was 23. What was that look for?
I'm like saying, I'm like, brother, are you not really shocked like me? 36?
Yeah, I'm 36. I'm 37 in a few months. Yeah. What? Did you think I was younger?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's all right then.
Do you not think she's younger?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm 36.
All right. It's all right.
Yeah.
Drop a little bomb in there. It's all right. It's good.
I should have just lied, shouldn't I? So
No. I love honesty, man. Keep it real.
How do I look?
Oh, don't start this conversation. What's wrong with you? This is not the convo.
Okay, sorry. So first time I went to India, I was 23. And it was the first time I went
question. Where in India? Sorry.
Where in India?
Yeah.
I went to Kerala and Tamil Nadu.
Yeah, it's like the coolest part.
Yeah,
well, that was a good one to go to the first time.
Isn't it?
Definitely, it was absolutely stunning. But when I was 23, I really felt the need to go on a trip. I'd saved up a bit of money and I thought, okay, I want to go somewhere. And I wanted to go somewhere that wasn't a Western country.
Right.
Because I'd never been to a non-Western country in my entire life. So I was like, okay, 23. And I was like, I was like looking at India. And I went on like a kind of one of them group tour things, kind of like whatever, but one that's sort of like good because you really get to know the culture properly and all that kind of thing. Okay. So I was looking at South India and I was like, oh, that looks really cool. So I went to India. And I wasn't expecting this at all, but it completely blew my mind. Like I felt like I'd landed on a different planet. And at the time I was really mentally not in a great place. But when I went to India, it felt like all of that sort of lifted because I was seeing things, tasting things that I'd never experienced in my entire life. And
you'd never experienced anything like that? Like you hadn't had a curry back here?
Yeah, but I think because I grew up in Devon. When I was 10, like we moved to like between Cambridge and Bedford sort of thing. I went to university in Lincoln, which was a very white sort of area, and the university itself was very white as well. And then I started working in London, which is obviously more multicultural and all that kind of thing. So obviously I'd tried curry and all that kind of things, but South Indian culture is very different, isn't it? And like
they claim they're the real Indians.
You see that?
Yeah, man. Man, there's proper segregation everywhere in India.
Oh no,
there's
no,
just
no,
so many boxes.
Yeah, I'd never had dosa before. I'd never, like, and Kerala is just like such a unique. It's just beautiful. It's so green as well, and like you've got all the tea plantations and everything, and it was just everything just blew my mind, like the way people dress, the way people talk, everything. And then I just, it just started from that. I just suddenly got absolutely fascinated with India, and it was like a thirst for knowledge where I just wanted to find out more and more and more and more. And then gradually over time realized that India is just like, it's almost like separate countries within one country, right? Every state is so different. Every, the language changes, the food changes, everything. So for me, it was like, why would I want to go anywhere else in the world when I've got so many different sort of mini countries in one big country to explore, sort of thing. So it's now been 8 trips to India.
8 trips.
Yeah.
8 trips. And what, you've created a network of friends, or?
Yeah, I've created a network of friends. It's become this sort of fascination with the culture. It's almost like I wouldn't be able to stop this fascination even if I tried, because it's now become huge parts of my friendships. It's become huge parts of my professional life as well. So I freelance making social media videos, making creative videos for businesses.
Yep.
And because of my connection and because of the YouTube videos, that's drawing in more clients, because they'll see my YouTube videos and then they'll see my set of skills and they'll be like, we want that for our business. So I've got clients like one of my major clients that I work with every month is a Bhangra Academy in East London. Shout out VP Bhangra.
East London.
Yeah.
Oh, VP.
VP Bhangra. Shout out VP Bhangra. So yeah, I work with them and I make their social media videos, and I've gotten really good friendships from that as well. And I really love learning about the Punjabi community, and that's what spurred me on to learn Punjabi. So it's like a never-ending cycle of like learning, and when it infiltrates your professional life as well, that's when it's just like it spurs on even more and more. So it's become so much part of my life. I'm
ready for you to learn Tamil now as well.
Yeah.
Next one on the thing. So I thought it was a 6'4" big Punjabi man. Like I thought that's what got you into the culture.
So that's the common thing.
I thought that's what
that's what got
big boy team.
The common thing is that people think that I'm either married to an Indian person,
of course,
or I've got an Indian boyfriend, because that would make more sense.
Have you got an Indian boyfriend?
No, I don't.
Oh, it's mad.
I'm single. So
that's actually nice point though. When I did watch the video, I was like,
that's what I thought as well.
Yeah, that's what everyone thinks. And when I took Hindi classes, in my class, in the first class that we did, we had to go around and say why we're learning Hindi. And there was a mixture of people. There was people that were brown that didn't learn the language as a kid and regretted it when they're older, so they wanted to learn it as an adult. And then there were people that were not Indian, that were married to or engaged to, or they had a boyfriend or girlfriend that was from India or British born Indian, and they just had a curiosity to learn so they could feel closer to their the family they're marrying into. And I was the only person who was like, I'm just learning it because I'm interested in it and I love the culture.
Who are you?
Can I ask a quick question? Like, specifically, what is it that's bringing you like that much interest? Because you're saying, of course, like there's a dance, there's a food, and that's all nice and well. But what would you say is like that? What's separating the South Asian culture from, say, another non-Western culture?
I think a huge part of it is the relationships that you guys have with family and with friends is so different, and the connection that you have with your family. I have a really strong connection with, obviously, I love my family, I love my mum and dad, I love my brother, I love my friends, but it's like I was brought up to be as independent as possible from a very young age, right? So like I was living at home after university and I was literally told to move out, sort of thing. It was like I didn't have a choice. Wow. It was like you have to leave, sort of thing. But if I talk to someone from India about that, they think that's so shocking. And they're just like, that's crazy. And then you can see how in India, like the friendships that they have, it's like they're brothers or sisters, sort of thing. And the connections that they have with their family are so deep. And I know that there's good sides and bad sides to both, but there's something about, I feel like also South Asian people can be a bit more, like you were saying earlier, maybe more blunt and upfront when they speak. And white British people aren't like that maybe so much. So there's a lot of sort of like second guessing and all that kind of thing. So I like how upfront people are. I like the emotional connections. I don't know. I can't explain it, to be very honest with you. I love learning about the history. I love learning about
everything. It's crazy because like for example, you were connecting with language right at home because you were speaking to you at home. So it was kind of given. It was kind of there.
Yeah.
And it was good on your parents. And I think there's a lot of people that don't speak the language. I'll bring up a story. So I've got a family friend who had a conversation. His son's got into a very high private school, like one of the most expensive in London, right? And this boy doesn't speak any language from the mother tongue or father tongue. I don't know what officially you're supposed to call it, but he doesn't speak any language other than English or maybe a bit of French and stuff like that. And his father, we had a discussion, and he turned around and said he doesn't think it's important for him to know Hindi or Punjabi or Urdu or whatever they speak at home. And I've got you here telling me about you speak it at home. Yeah. And then one of the major things to connect with a community you found was the language. Now, is that important to know the language to connect with a community? Or is it just used to a different people? And, you know, it just makes you guys different. Like how, if you didn't have the language, how would you feel less connected with just the food?
I feel like, for me personally, I think it's really important. But I also want to preface, like, I don't think that doesn't mean you have to be fluent. It just means you got to make an effort. With fluency comes some advantages. So I'll give a story. It's actually quite nice. Recently, I literally went back home. I came back less than a month ago. I was there for a month, and I was speaking to my great grandma, who's over 100 now. And like, because of my fluency, I was able to. I know, right? But like the life she would have seen and the life I've seen is insane. Amazing. Bro. Like, anyway, I was able to have such a really nice, deep. It wasn't a deep conversation. It was a casual conversation. But the sort of family members from my generation now, a lot of them, some of them are now being born outside of the UK, so their Nepalese isn't as great. And there was such a nice moment when I was just literally having a conversation about her and like her day and how like she doesn't really like getting in cars because she feels sick. But that fluency just meant I was able to have that deeper connection. And I think that's what language, and ultimately, like, rather than language, communication gets you. The sort of medium through which I was communicating was language, but it doesn't always have to be verbal language. But that just seems to be the most convenient way. And I think that it lets you access a deeper part of the culture, in my opinion.
And how relevant is that for your life, other than you personally connecting with your grandma? Like, do you think as an actor, is it needed? Do you need it? Is it good to be connected? Does it bring anything more as a dynamic?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the language brings the culture, and the culture brings experience, and that experience just brings so much more dynamics and more interesting things when it comes to art. Do you know what I mean? Because art is ultimately, in my opinion, like an expression of experience, you know, and it's how you express it, what you're expressing, and the more sort of cultures you can access, the more experiences you can gain, and the more perspective you can also possibly gain as well on the world.
And yourself, like language?
I think, I'm obviously not fluent, and I'd love to be.
You're better than me.
No, that's not true. And you know, I find... मैं हिंदी बोल सकती हूँ, लेकिन मेरी हिंदी बहुत खराब है.
Hey, that's good.
Stop it.
आज का मौसम बहुत खराब है ना. बारिश हो रहा है.
All the aunties watching right now taking a screenshot of you, showing to their son, Adek, Sonny Loki. Why you not call her?
My speaking is better than my understanding, which is really weird because normally it's normally the other way round. So I struggle so much to understand. I don't know. It's probably because I wasn't brought up with hearing those voices and stuff. But
I think that's
I think that's a huge part of it. And in my Punjabi classes, by the way, it's really embarrassing. So for a long time, I was the only adult in my Punjabi classes. The first class I was in was just learning the alphabet, like ura, era, iri, sasa, haha. And it was like literally 3 to 6 year olds in this class.
Oh my God.
And there's me, 36. Can you imagine how embarrassing that is?
Got it wrong, they're not 3 to 6, 36. Well, what's going on?
Do you know what was really funny as well? The teacher went round and she was like, normally, actually, no, it was when I moved up to level 2 and it was more slightly older. So it was more of sort of like 6 to 10 year olds or whatever. She was like, normally I go round and I ask people, you know, what year they're in at school. And she was like, looking at me like, she was like, I'm presuming that you're, you know, like, it was almost like...
What year did she think you were in?
Yeah, I'm just like, obviously I'm not at school. You know, so I'm presuming you're not in full-time education or something. I'm like,
it's
like,
okay.
What do I even need to ask? So yeah, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so the advantage that I feel like the
Language,
kids have over me is that they've been brought up hearing at some point, whether it's through some media that their grandmother is watching on television, or their grandmother talking, or their parents talking to their grandmother, they would have heard something. So when it comes to learning reading and writing and the alphabet, we're on the same level. But when it comes to speaking and understanding, they've got much there. When it comes to understanding, they're going to be much further ahead than me. That's the thing that I'm going to really struggle with.
I was always told at school, man, if a young child learns their mother tongue as well as English at the same time, it just broadens how they learn, or how quick they can learn. The only thing I was shocked about Hindi and Punjabi is just the letters. I don't even know what that squiggle dash is.
That's my favorite bit.
Squiggle dash.
I love being able to go to India and see stuff written in Hindi and know, it doesn't matter if I know the word or not, I'll at least be able to sound it out, because every character sounds this. Unlike the English language, where every character could maybe have a slightly different in the word, you will be able to sound out if you know the sound of each character.
So like in English, the predecessing character, or after it changes how it sounds.
But in Hindi it doesn't. So like, I love it, and it's like something that would normally be a squiggle has become like somewhat a word, cool. And that's so exciting for me. I love that.
I think that's such an ode to her effort, because ultimately, like I was saying, it's about the effort that you put in. I think people will appreciate that.
Yeah,
that is another level, definitely.
It's not another level. Anyone can learn. Anyone, if you take the lessons, anyone can learn to read and write.
True.
But I will say, just real quick, because I don't think this is what you're doing, but I will say, like, when people put out their sort of experience of, especially like the South Asian community and our culture and all the beautiful, bright things that are out there, right? It's so cool. It's so nice to see. But I think it's important sometimes to, I don't know, you tell me what you think, Donnie, but like, to not exoticize it too much to an extent where it becomes a separate entity from the actual real people.
As in what, the culture part of it?
Yeah, the culture part.
This is the thing. I think, it's weird. Like, sometimes I get really annoyed that people are culturally appropriating things or using the culture as a novelty.
You looked at me when you said this.
But staring into my eyes.
She's love, man. She just started instigating. She's instigate. Like, we could go on, and there's a million questions, but this is not here to grill, right? My take on yourself, like, if we even go into this, right? I'm excited because it's something that I overlook, like learning the language, how to write. I found someone that's from a culture, because I'm really trying to be British as well. Right, I really identify with it. I love fish and chips, pie and mash. I love the lifestyle. Most of my mates were down the pub on the weekend or whatever, and we love that lifestyle, right? But I'm sitting here, and the things that I overlook that were given to me, like yourself, I'm ignoring at certain times, like the language. And I sit there, and when I hear my uncle or family friends, or bait him up now, but when I sit there and he turns around and he says to me, his children don't need to learn Hindi, I felt targeted. But then I've got you sitting here that's showing me how beautiful my culture is by a fresh lens. And I sincerely, from my heart, think that's a beautiful way to experience it. So whatever anyone might turn around, if I even looked at you and made it feel like cultural appropriation, it's nothing to do with that.
No, but I have been accused of it.
Oh,
yeah.
What do you say to those people?
Sorry?
What do you say to those folks?
I try to ignore it. I feel like cultural appropriation has become quite a big buzzword. And I saw a really interesting video that was done by somebody, Punjabi content creator. The name has completely lost me, but it's British Punjabi guy. And he was saying, I get really angry when people say the word cultural appropriation, because he was like, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as like one culture is pure. Every culture has been influenced by outside influences. If you look at India, for example, lots of influence from British Empire, Mughal Empire, Portuguese, like lots of different things that you might think are Indian are actually not. And, I think, as I said, culture is constantly evolving. Cultural appropriation is just a really interesting word, and I feel like a lot of people see creators like me and then they jump on it and go, I have been accused of like, she's only making this content because she knows she's going to get views and all that kind of thing. And when people say that, it does upset me, because it did start with, I started doing YouTube when I was 26, 27. I've been doing it 8 years.
Yeah.
And 8 years? Okay, so then yeah, I don't know. I can't do maths, but anyway, so yeah, around 28, I think I started doing YouTube, but I fell in love with Indian culture when I was 23. So that it's not like I just woke up one day and was like, "Oh, this is a white person speaking in Hindi. That means that I should start making that content and get views."
Yeah.
I don't think people that have been doing it for that long wouldn't be genuine, and it would be weird, Like,
No, I completely agree with you. I think there is a difference between people who genuinely have a love for the culture and doing it because it comes from a good place. But there are people out there that are, sort of like using our culture as a costume, ultimately profiting off of
there is like, I mean, I can only speak as a DJ. Like, I've been playing Asian music and I loved Bollywood music and I love hip hop. So I've always been fusing them. But now all of a sudden what's happened is all those people that said don't play Bollywood, playing Bhangra, they hate on me, but now you go to a club and they're all playing Bollywood.
Yeah, bro.
Right? So it's kind of what it is. The bottom line is like you said, I think the thing is it's evolving. Our culture's different. Like now, like you said, as a new box, you're Nepalese British. I don't know, like you call yourself, you're British, but you have an interest in it, but you call yourself British or whatever. And now you're London, that's just my own culture itself. And then I get told I'm British Asian, but I'm just a brown person.
I think we're in a difficult spot right now, especially online. I don't know how online you are right now, but like it's kind of hard to not see like the very anti-Indian hate that's online as well right now.
Well, I challenged a guy that was putting up videos of Indian people making food and calling them dirty monkeys.
What did you say?
I challenged the guy. I said, your intentions are pure race driven. He posted my DM, sent loads of people after me that like just inundated every video, every post on my thing. People just trolling me, like saying this is the music you listen to before you blow up and all of these kind of things. Okay, and I sat there and I just said thank you to every single person that replied. But that was it. I didn't block no one. I just said thank you. And like my views went crazy. My reels done really good. My engagement was up. Yeah, it was good. I offered a badge, $40.99. No, I'm joking. So like irrelevant of, man, social media is a mad thing. It's a mad thing. And it goes on, I don't know what to say. It hurts. It does hurt me. When people cuss back home, it hurts me. It hurts me. But at the same time, it also hurts me when people don't respect hair. So I don't know what I am.
Bro, I think it's an awkward time for us, I think it's a very awkward time. I feel like it's an evolution, though. I feel like things will change eventually. And it will change. Like, it will never be the same.
Yeah, like I said, maybe we'll go back to your answer eventually, where we're just all human.
Yeah.
That was your answer.
I'll give it to you, though, innit? I need to ask you one thing as well, and we're going to wrap up after this as well. If there's one thing to represent your culture, right? Now, you can choose to go if it's British or Asian culture or Nepalese, whatever you think. But if you wanted to share one thing from you that you feel is special from your backgrounds of culture, what would it be? And should we stick it out with you?
Oh, my days.
One thing.
Oh, that is tough. Bro, you know what it is? Oh, okay. One thing I would say that I love mixing the two sides, Nepalese and Southeast, is the fact that you can actually... Do you know what momos are?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, obviously.
You guys know
you guys
are taking over India.
Do you know what I mean? Like, the momos are so buff.
Can you make momos?
Me personally, I can't. I'm useless. I tried for the very first time recently. Jesus Christ, bro.
I was about to get into your DMs then if you do.
Yes, No. But it's the fact that even in this like cold, rainy place, which ultimately is still one of my homes, is where I grew up, I can still go out to the corner and get a momo. Yeah, play a momo. And you can pretty much anywhere in London, really.
So it's food.
Food. It's food
for the
really.
Culture.
Yeah.
Food. And what you sell for yourself?
What's the question again?
It's about what would you show to represent culture, your culture?
It's got to be fish and chips.
Yeah.
God, I love fish and chips.
I love it.
And I actually tried a Pakistani version of fish and chips.
Well, the green one. Don't tell me the green one.
The green one?
There's a green... Oh, no, that's Bengali fish.
There's a place called Fishwala. And
Fishwala.
It's really good. Yeah. Where is it again? I can't remember where it is. Somewhere in London called Fishwala.
Check them out, yeah.
It's so good.
Pakistani fish and chips, so good. I would have to go out and do it. We're going to have to go and hang out with her.
Yeah,
man. She knows all the spots as well.
Yeah.
So I can maintain my beautiful figure right now anyway. But guys, thanks a lot for being here. Do you know what? We could chat for ages and there's about another 20 podcasts to come with you both as well. And I really appreciate it as well. Bajan's going to be coming back to theatres.
Yeah, it'll be coming back on stage soon. I'm not sure where, but follow socials if you guys were interested and we'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll put up all the links there. And for you, where we go next?
Where we go next? Oh, well, actually, I'm going to Hong Kong in March, but after that, I'm really hoping to go to either Bangladesh or Pakistan.
Oh, beautiful.
So yeah, that'll be exciting to go beyond the borders of India and
Yeah.
see what it's like. It'd be
Yeah.
awesome. But yeah, do subscribe, London Ki Lali, my YouTube channel, or follow me on Instagram for more adventures, basically.
Love, man. Well, thank you very much for being there, both of you as well. All right, so cool. Anyway, thanks a lot for listening. Like I said, my name's Doni Brasco. This is the podcast Lyca Extra. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, tell a friend. And if you've got any comments, anything you want to say, stick it in the inbox. Keep it nice, keep it real. Don't be rude. Don't hate on people. And support these two because they're like, they bare their souls a little bit out here as well. It's too short a time. But anyway, peace, love. Look after yourself as well. Oh, by the way, I've been told, if you want to get in contact, just go to lycaradio.com. You can send us a message. And if you've got a story that needs discussing, it could be anything like what your husband's cheating with another man. It can be my child is holding drugs. And I'll be real, any situation, bring it on because we've got to talk about it. Peace.
This is Lyca Extra, the sound for the British Asian generation. A part of the Lyca Radio Network.